to me like a bunch of rats being strangled. But you're not good enough. You're not good but you're not good enough.
Not good.
All right. Screen up. Hello, hello. Asset managers, welcome.
Hello.
Hi. It's another Asset Management Monday.
What's going on, Bibi? How are you, lead boss?
Is that Cheryl?
Yeah.
Hi, Cheryl. How are you?
Hi. I'm okay. A lot of heat in Boston. It's kind of dragging on me, but
Yeah. Beat,
staying cool.
yeah. It beats the ice storms that we get.
You're getting ice storms where you are?
No, I say it beats the ice storms that we would normally get in Massachusetts.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Awesome. Welcome everyone. Welcome to another, I'm just letting people into the room. Welcome to another Asset Management Monday. Um, if you are new, where are you from? I see a few new faces. Well, Cheryl already told us that she's from Massachusetts. Carla, how about you and Teresa?
Hi, I'm from Willingboro, New Jersey.
Oh, lovely. Very nice. Welcome. And is this your first Asset Management Zoom?
Yes.
Amazing. How
My
about you?
headphones.
How about you, Teresa?
I'm here in the Charlotte area, Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is, I think, my second or third asset management
Awesome. Well, thank you for
Monday.
coming back. Thank you. Hi, thank you for joining us. Mention your name. My apologies. It's just people who are on. Oh, okay. Let me see.
Keeps bothering me.
Oh, you're from SoCal. Cool. Thank you for being here. We love to see you. We love to have you guys back. For those who are new, or if this is your first time, if you are unfamiliar with the Multifamily Freedom Chasers, we are an online community. Let me just go back to sharing basic. We're an online community that caters really to the 9 to 5ers. That's why we hold our Zooms kind of on the later side of the day. That's not always convenient for everyone. But give me 1 second, guys. I am, for whatever reason. Oh, here we go. All right. So we cater towards the 9 to 5ers. We hold our Zooms pretty much in the evenings. And it's not that we're only for 9 to 5ers, but we're trying to show 9 to 5ers and all working professionals that it is possible to attain financial freedom through apartment investing. I'm clearly stuttering at doing two things at the same time. Here we go. All right. So that's who we are. And so we offer different types of programming. On Mondays, on alternating Mondays, we either have the asset management series, or we would have an activation Zoom where we bring in a celebrity guest to speak into the community and show you guys how possible this is. Today, we're going to be going over monitoring KPIs, so key performance indicators. What should we be looking out for? What should we be measuring? That sort of thing. If you are new to MFC in general, there are different ways you can connect with us. You can connect with us through Facebook. We are also available through a WhatsApp group. That's the QR code. Shine your, camera on it. Connect to us through there. You're able to get into closer proximity with the leaders of this group. It's not just Monday programming we offer. On Wednesdays, we also have either an update of the debt market with the Miles family, or broker calls, broker talks / napkin underwriting with Ed Shamirian and his business partner, Kevin. The asset management series is run by Bibi and I. You'll be hearing more from Bibi later on in the evening. She's based down in Dallas area. For those of you who are in the warm California down south, Cheryl and I are up here in sunny Massachusetts.
Massachusetts represent.
Yes.
Yeah, I got notice for commercial investing.
Awesome.
I got recognition in a magazine.
Oh, that's cool. Why don't
Yeah.
you share more with us in the chat about that? Would love to hear about that in the chat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, awesome. So you can connect with us either through email or our social media platform. The links are there. And we are going to talk about monitoring KPIs. So let me stop sharing and I'll hand it over to Bibi at this point. Let me first find her. There we go. Let me make her co-host. Awesome. All right, Bibi, are you ready to talk about monitoring KPIs? Don't see her video on.
Is she hiding on us?
She may. Let's give her a minute or two.
She's muted too.
Oh, she's muted? All right. Hold on 1 second. Oh, she said her system is frozen. Oh dear. All right. Maybe she can try and log back in. Okay. There she is. I'll unpin myself. There we go. Let me see. All right, Bibi, it's all yours. Take it.
Bibi, you're still muted. Okay.
Is your system still frozen?
Oh,
Okay, okay. All right, that's all right. We can improvise. Do you want us to give you a few minutes? Hold on 1 second. I just want to let some people into the chat, into the room. There we go. Oh, I think she's restarting. Well, give me one moment.
Yeah.
All right. While waiting for her, what we'll do is we'll advance the slide a bit and then she can readdress. So the principle of key performance indices is based on this statement right here. Some people say, well, this is related to Peter Drucker. If you don't measure it, how will you manage it? And so is there anyone in the room who is already in the asset management? Oops, I apologize. Is there anyone in the room who's already in the asset management space that is already doing this and measuring some KPIs that we're going to be discussing? I'm trying not to get too ahead of what Bibi is going to be talking about. And let me stop sharing so I can see you guys. Is that a yes? Is that a no? What are some of the... Okay, go
I
ahead.
have some, but sorry. Some, but not really a lot with real estate. My biggest asset is I'm a GP, so I don't really see too much of it. But before, when I was raising capital, I did learn a great deal about, these indicators.
This key performance indicators. Okay. No, that's great. Key performance indicators for those. Oh, wait, never mind. Hold on. I see Bibi again. Don't want to steal anyone's thunder.
I'm using my phone.
Oh, okay.
So guys, I don't know. For some reasons, my two systems are frozen. I don't know what's going on, but I'm using my phone at this point. At any time I get it back on, I'll switch. Okay. So let's go ahead. Today we're talking
Hi,
about
Bibi.
Hi. Today we'll be talking about key performance indicator, and simply what that really means. I know most of us are conversant with it in our work environment, how you guys measure when things are on track or when things are properly done. So it's the same principle. It's just that most times people do not consider multifamily as a business, but technically, multifamily has all the branches or every aspect of a business. So it is termed a business. So the way you normally treat any other business is the same way you're supposed to treat a multifamily. So it has the same components like vision, mission, business plan, key performance indicators, and all that. So those are the different components of a multifamily deal. So before you start up your multifamily deal, we already know the goal. The goal is for you to be profitable, to have cash flow, to first appreciate your property, We know all that. But now the point is, how do we get ourselves from where we are to the goal, which is becoming profitable, first appreciating and giving your investors their return. So there are some key things you need to start asking, some questions. I call them mission questions. Mission, we know what a vision is. A vision is a pictorial, it's a picture of what the goal is. It's a picture of your goal. And the mission is how you intend to achieve your goal. So now these are the mission questions you should be asking yourself before creating KPI. The first one is, what do you tend to achieve with this? Why? What do you intend to achieve with this? Who is responsible for this? Who is going to be handling it, and who is supposed to be monitoring it? And when do you know you've achieved your goal? So these are questions you should be asking yourself. When do you know you've achieved it? So like what if he said, you cannot measure what is not manageable and all that. So that is where key performance indicator comes. But before you set your key performance indicator, you have to set a business plan. I always say this and I'll repeat it again. No single deal is the same. Every deal has its own component. So every deal is different. So as well, the KPIs will be different as well. So that's the thing about KPIs. Sorry, I'm still trying to see if my system will come up. So once you know that, your business plan is key at this point. So for example, I have 2 properties. One of them is a value add. But when I mean value add is many things, but I'm going to narrow it down to renovation, capex and all that. So that is, in quotes, that's what I'm defining this to be at this point. But value add is many things. It's you trying to add value to your property. It can come in any way. But for the purpose of what we are talking about, I'm referring to renovations, either interior or exterior renovations. So if I have a property that requires that kind of exercise, and I have another property that doesn't require renovation, it just needs stability. I just need to, the property is, let's say, an A-class property, does not need any form of renovation. It just needs me to put in tenants in that one. So you can see from what I said, the needs of the both properties are different. So as well, any other properties. So if you have this at the back of your mind, the first thing for you to do is to create your business plan. We've discussed this previously in some of our, I think 2 weeks or a month ago, we discussed that intensively when we're talking about business plan. So once you created your business plan, what that business plan helps you to do is it gives you a broader view of what you want to achieve. Then the KPIs are the ones that streamlines it for you to know actually what you've achieved. Because a business plan can be very bogus and very overwhelming. It can look so big, and if you don't break it down, you'll have issues. So the KPI helps you to monitor if your business plan is on track and all that. So that's what the KPI will help you do. So for a property that, sorry, I'm going off script. I'm just saying it, and I hope you guys are hearing me because I'm just holding my phone and talking. Yeah. So for KPIs, for a property that needs value add, which is the interior and exterior capex, there are some things you should be monitoring. So for a property like that, I'll be monitoring what is my turn time for my renovation. What is my conversion time for my renovation? I'll be monitoring what is when I mean conversion time, I'm saying from the time of renovation to getting a tenant into that property. Those are things I'll be monitoring. I'll be monitoring my retention as well, because at the same time, when I'm doing my renovation, I don't want to lose anybody. So I'm monitoring my income, and I'm also monitoring my expenses. So for most people consider above the line items. When I mean above the line, any item that is before you pay for your mortgage. So what are the items above the line? Items above the line are like your utility bills, insurance, taxes, advertisement, your property management fee, payroll, all those kind of items are above the line items. So when I'm saying it, you should understand exactly what I'm referring to by saying above the line item. Please give me. Yeah, so can you hear me now? Can anybody hear me? Okay,
Yep, I can hear
thank
you.
you. So
Yes, we can.
I'm
Yes, I can hear you.
sincerely sorry about this. We had slides for you guys, but so I'm just talking off my head, and yes,
Did you
but
want
it's
me
in
to
line with what we have.
did you
So
want
items that are above the line are just the things I just mentioned to you guys. So anything above the line, we find out that most operators or most investors pay attention to those things. You find people paying attention to insurance, utility, and all that, but they forget to pay attention to CapEx. So for a property that requires value add, that'll be part of my KPIs. I'll be monitoring my CapEx, the things that are under the line. So after paying my mortgage, that means I've paid all my operating expenses, which are the things I just listed. After paying them off, the next thing for me to do is to pay my lender. So after paying my lender, technically what you call that is cash flow, which is profit, but you might have some CapEx things to run. So the CapEx items comes after the what do you call it? Comes after you've paid your debt. So those CapEx items, you need to monitor them, because guess what? If you've made a lot of money from you've been able to work on your income, you've worked on your expenses, you know what you're paying your lender, you made tangible amounts of money. Let's say you made a profit of 90,000 and you're not monitoring your CapEx, and you allow your CapEx just go the way it should not be going, you end up losing your profit, and you will end up not having cash flow. So it's important when you are doing your CapEx, when you're doing a value add, that is a key performance indicator you should be looking out for. So that's for value add. So now I'm going to the second example. The second example is a property that is not stable. It's a Class A. A Class A property are properties that were built in the 2020s, last 20 years and all that. So these are pretty new property, or a property that was just built last year. Like I was looking for properties and I saw a property that was built in 2023. That was a brand new property, but it had stability issues. So for example, if I take up that kind of property, the business plan on that property will be many things. But my KPI will help me to manage. What I'll be monitoring on a property that is not stable is my occupancy. I'm monitoring my occupancy. I'm monitoring my traffic, because I want to know how many people are looking for us on the, how many people are looking for us, how many people is our advert attracting. What that we do, because if I'm monitoring it properly, I will know at what point, if I'm having traffic. If I'm not having traffic, that is a signal that we need to go back to the drawing board. There's something we are not doing right. There are two things or many things that can happen. Is either your pricing, our pricing is wrong. So the KPI will help you know if your pricing is wrong. That is, maybe you are slightly above the market, or or if your property management have issues with converting. So you might have the right advert, have the right property, have everything right, but your property manager does not know how to convert anybody that walks down to the office. Or your property manager is very responsible. They don't pick up calls when these calls come in, or they don't do many things. So when you have a KPI set aside for your traffic, you will be able to know when something is off, and you tell and know why your occupancy is still the way it is. So those are some of the things you'll be monitoring if you have a property that is unstable. And another thing you also want to be monitoring is your retention, because yes, you're trying to make the property stable. At the same time, you don't want to lose anybody that you have. So you'll be monitoring that as well. You'll be monitoring you also be monitoring your expenses, because when your property is unstable, your expenses are fixed to a large extent. Nothing is changing it. So you still have to pay your bills. So you have to monitor some things and ensure that you control. So we have a property in that category that we are transitioning from a student housing to a residential multifamily. So we have a business plan that in the next 3 years, we are going to gradually transition the property to residential, 50% to residential, 50% student. That is a business plan. So for a property like that, we are constantly monitoring constantly monitoring the traffic. So how do we monitor the traffic with our KPIs? We use something called the bus call. So there's the bus call. What the bus call does or tells you is you have different layouts. On a property, let me give you an example. In a property, you have maybe a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and you might notice something. If you have the right KPI, you'll be able to track which of your layout is doing the best and which is falling behind. So if you have the right KPIs and you know that your 2 bedrooms are doing well, it will tell you if your 2 bedrooms are doing well and if your 1 bedroom is not doing well. At the time you've noticed that your 1 bedroom is not doing well, that's when you now have a meeting or you start re-strategizing. How can we make our 1 bedroom more attractive? Should we give out concessions? Should we reduce the price? Should we give out 1 month free? There are things that there are decisions you can take, but when you are not monitoring it, that's where the problem is. So that is for that. So no single multifamily is the same. All our properties that we own, they are all different. We monitor different things. All of them come with their different headaches and different monitoring. So the good thing is that you can do all this monitoring automated. So there's something called the BI, business intelligence, that they are synchronizing with software. So there's a software app that a property management company uses for your deals. So companies are now integrating their business intelligence to those apps to make it more efficient and easy and all that. So you can also do your KPIs with automated, but you cannot set, like, I'll repeat it again. You cannot manage you cannot monitor what's not manageable. You need to first of all determine what you are monitoring before the BI will help you identify what the problem is. It's simple. They always told us this about computer: garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put in there, that's what you get. So it's important that you know it before you put in the measures or the things you want to start measuring. So that is about that. So the next
I didn't want to interrupt, Bibi. Was there anything
I would like to talk about in monitoring KPIs? Sorry.
Can you hear me, Bibi?
So the next thing about monitoring about KPIs is you also want to be in sync. You want to be, all your levels of team members must all be on the same plate. So you've created your business plan. You've said, this is my KPI. And if there is no proper communication between you, the property manager, and the back-end office and the team on ground, there's going to be a conflict. So for all I care, have the best KPIs, have the best, whatever thing you want to do, have them. But if you don't have everybody on the same page, that's where the trouble comes. So you will need to communicate what you are measuring, and every time you guys are monitoring it. So how often do we check out, know if our KPIs performing. So what are the things we should be doing, or how often do we measure our KPIs? So KPIs are measured weekly, monthly, annually, and yearly. So let me explain the things you should be watching out for on a weekly basis. So you want to ensure that you have a weekly meeting with your property manager and you are monitoring some things. So the things you're monitoring are those things like your income, your vacancies, your delinquencies. Very, very important. You want to measure your delinquencies. You want to measure the capex if it's a value add. So these are things you should be watching every week. So the things you should be watching out for every month is your profit and loss. So the thing about it is that if you forget to do one, it's going to have a ripple effect on the other one. So your KPI measurement starts on a weekly basis. You can't jump and say, I want to be monitoring every quarter. Anything that should have been corrected on a weekly basis and you did not correct it and you allowed it spill over to the next 3 months, there's going to be issues. You're going to have trouble. So I will say this again, you make money when you buy multifamily, not when you are exiting. So from the beginning, you are already factoring in all your plans. So for example, I intend to sell my property. Right now, let's say my property is worth $2 million. And I intend that in the next 5 years, my property should be worth $7 million. There are things you need to be doing as of today to ensure that your property is 7 million. So I see some people, especially pops and moms that own multifamily, they don't get to do anything. They don't monitor anything. They just wait and say the property will appreciate. But let me bring this to your notice. The way we are running property now is different from the way properties were run some few years back. Anyone that feels that your property will just appreciate and you don't need to do anything, then you are all on for a surprise. So we're seeing a lot of those surprises going on right now in the market. There are deals falling apart. And that is because it's either two things. One, it was not properly managed, or they got a bad loan from the beginning. When I mean bad, I'm talking about bridge loan, and they were not able to execute their business plan on time, and now the loan is due and all that. So you will need to start off, if you intend to exit a property in 5 years, the weekly meetings, the monthly meetings, the annual meetings, and the yearly meetings are the ones that will bring you to that point. So going back to the example I was making, if you have a property that you intend to sell for 7 million, and right now the value is 3 million, you should be concentrating on your NOI. NOI is net operating income. What does that mean? It means that I want to increase my income and reduce my expenses. So that is the goal, because the higher your NOI, the higher the value of that property. So if that is your goal of selling your property in 5 years for 7 million, your KPI should be measuring your NOI. You should know when your NOI, your net operating income, is falling below the target. So if you've done your underwriting very well and your NOI at your exit is supposed to be 1.5 and you are currently at 700 as of today, it means that if you need to get to 1.5, you have about $800,000 to catch up with. So 800,000 divided by 5 years should be what your NOI should be, the increment you should be having every year on your NOI. So I want to do the calculation to see what that is. So if I have 800,000 divided by 5 years, that means every year my NOI should increase by 160,000. So this is why your KPIs should be measured from day one. Because if you miss out in your year one, you miss out in your year two, and you intend to sell your property in year 5 for 7 million, to be very difficult for you to catch up. Except we have a miracle that just happened in 2022 and 2023, where we're seeing 2021, 2022, where we're seeing properties going up as into the roof and to the peak. I don't have a sage that we're going to see that anytime soon again. So that is the more reason why trainings like this is very, very important, because you need to start the work right now. This is what KPI will help you measure. So every week you want to ensure you're monitoring the things I just mentioned. You're monitoring your income, expenses, your NOI, your everything, you need to start measuring them. Then for your monthly, you're checking your T12. So what are you measuring under your T12? I say your T12, your profit and loss. What are you measuring under your profit and loss? You're looking for variation. So in your profit and loss, there's a column you should have that states the actual. So remember, you've done some projections when you're underwriting. For those of you that are into acquisition and you underwrite, there are projections you should have done that in your year 1, I should have made this. My year 2, I should have made this. My year 3, I should have made this. So what you're doing, what you are measuring, which is that your KPI, you are measuring your projections or your budget, because your budget and your projection must be in line. Before you sign off on your budget, it must align with your projections. So for example, let's assume you've done that. You've aligned your budget with your projections, so everything is the same. What you should be comparing with your actual is the budget or your pro forma, any of them. You compare both together and see where the lack is. So for example, if my income is supposed to be $50,000, my actual is telling me my income is $40,000. So I have a variance of $10,000. That is a negative. So if I'm monitoring that monthly, I know that I am deficit on $10,000. So the question will be, what happened? Is our vacancy high? Did we have, are people not paying? Is our vacancy high? Is delinquency high? Those are questions that will come up because you are monitoring your income on a monthly basis. The other one is when you're also comparing it with your expenses, you will know which of those expenses have gone up and which one is down, or the ones you are properly managing. And this is done every month. So if you do this every month, you will tell when your utility bill has gone up. So for example, if your water bill went up this month, you noticed it. The first thing you do is to ask your property manager, do we have leakages? Why do we have a lot of, why is our bill high? You want to know. When you're not comparing with the next month and there's a difference, you will know again that there's something up. So, but you don't have to wait till the second month before you start addressing. The first month, if it does not, it has the variance between your pro forma and what your property is currently doing. If there are variances between the two, you should know there's a problem and you need to address it immediately. So for example, if your administrative cost or something is off, let's say administrative cost or your contract is off, it went slightly high, since you are monitoring it, you will tell and you quickly address it. So this is done on a monthly basis. You monitor your profit and loss. So what are the other things you monitor quarterly or twice a year and all that? You still monitor your profit and loss. You want to see at every quarter if you are hitting your milestones. And you also want to know if your budget is how do I put it? If your budget is realistic. So for example, you've created a budget that 60,000 is my income and you see yourself surpassing it, like you're already at 80,000 instead of 60. You should know that you need to do some readjustment on your budget. That means your budget was super conservative. So you might need to talk to your property manager and you guys will need to review the budget and make it more realistic to the goal you are seeing, to what you are attaining. So these things are very, very important. So when you do this quarterly, you do this yearly. So every year, the KPI you're monitoring at that point is your budget. So every year you're setting a new budget for the next year because your year 1 is different from your year 2. So you can't use the budget for your year 1 to function from year 2. The good thing about always reviewing your budget on a yearly basis is that each year, the previous year will give you the trend to tell you a story of what your expenses is like, and you can now set a budget that will align to what your previous year expenses is like and all that. So when you monitor your KPI on a yearly basis, you find out that you are actually doing the right measurement and you're identifying issues as they appear on a regular basis. So this is one of the reasons why monitoring KPI is good. In short, is the bread and butter of any multifamily deal. It can help your deal become very successful throughout the entire process. And this can be done manually and it can be done with AI or BI, business intelligence. So we have people using the business intelligence to identify, but you will need to know what you're measuring before those things can give you the right reports that you're looking at. So in summary, this is a summary of what it is to monitor key performance indicator. Without the proper key performance indicator, your deal is likely to fail. So this is why it's important. So I'm going to, for those of you that did not join us from the beginning, for you to set your key performance indicator, you need to know what the goal is. That is setting your business plan. So I cannot set a key performance indicator if I don't know what the plan is. So the plan will give me guidance on what I should be monitoring. So the first thing for you to do is set a business plan. After setting a business plan, then set out your key performance indicator. After setting a key performance indicator, start monitoring it. There are some things you should monitor weekly. There's some things you should monitor monthly. There's some things you should monitor quarterly. There's some things you should monitor annually. So different KPIs, different periods that you should be monitoring them. So this is all I have for today. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Sorry, we're supposed to share some slides, but apparently I just had to do it this way.
Great job, Bibi.
Amazing.
Elisa, do you have something to say?
Yes, a great job.
I don't know if I know that she couldn't hear me at some point.
Maybe
so,
her audio is off. Yeah.
Yeah, she can't hear. So we
But
could
do you guys hear me?
Yes, we could, but you couldn't hear us, so.
No. I muted the system to use this, so I just unmuted it now. So I didn't know that it was.
Okay.
So Israel, you're trying to say something. I don't know. I'm sure I didn't hear you.
Can she read the chat or no?
No, he was just saying great job.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Does
Now,
anyone in the
okay,
audience?
somebody asked insurance, rent. Yes, was thinking monthly. For your insurance, you should be monitoring it in the sense that really is annually, but you also want to shop. You want to shop in between the 1 year period you have, because the insurance you are paying for is for 1 year. So you can as well, the moment you buy a property, you can start shopping for another insurance company that can give you the same coverage at a better, lower price. So I would not say there's a fine time for you to do that, but you always want to shop around for your insurance every year to see if you can get a better deal. Because one of the things you want to do is to reduce your expenses.
Does anyone have any other questions?
I do. This is just a little different. In your experience, Bibi, how much does insurance increase on an annual basis?
It depends on the market. So there's no there's no one size fit all for this type of question, because depending, we're seeing some markets or some areas experiencing more natural disaster than some areas. So for those areas that are undergoing such, the insurance will be going up and up. For areas like Florida, I've been in the Florida market since 2020. And I remember how much we're paying. We're paying for one of our single family that we have there. I think we're paying $600. But right now, I think our insurance is about 3,000 plus.
Oh,
you
geez.
know. So that is where I can't even, it's more than, I should call it 600% increase, you know. So it just depends on the market. That will determine what kind of insurance bump, and the climatic condition, what's going on, natural disaster will determine that. But regardless, you still want to shop around. There are some competitors. We are seeing what we are seeing now in the market for insurance is we're having some other newer insurance company coming on board and beating the insurance companies that we know. They're beating their price down. So you always want to be shopping around to take advantage of that opportunity. So let me give you an example on that. We've been shopping around for insurance, for our insurance or one of our properties to go down. Never. We went through many brokers, they couldn't. But recently, we're able to reduce it by 64%. And that was because a new insurance company just came into the market and they're looking for ways to get more customers, and they're very competitive and they're giving a good rate. So you always want to be shopping around at every point in time.
Okay. Because that's one of those expenses that we can't control. We can be as proactive as possible with reducing the other expenses, but we don't have that luxury with insurance. You know, we can be proactive and do the types of things to make us stick out so that when renewal time comes, you know, they look at us as low risk, but still we're at their mercy.
Yeah, I did. I invited an insurance broker to one of my events, and he spoke extensively on this matter. So what he told us was that as owners, we should look for ways that the insurance company can bring down our insurance bill. So, for example, if you have things that okay, like one of our property, we took it over, and the property had a panel that the insurance company does not like, because they said the panel does not control fire. So if there's a fire outbreak, it does not break easily. So because of that panel, they increase our insurance.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to reduce your insurance, in that case, you want to do some conversion, and that will help you bring. So there's some things you can really do to bring down your insurance if you really want to. In some cases it's uncontrollable. There's nothing we can really do. Or you always want to shop because you might just have the opportunity to get something lower.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question. Does anyone else have a question?
I have another one then.
Yeah, go ahead. We're here for you.
If you're in a new relationship with a new property manager, and how often do you do your own work if you think that you can do a better job finding cheaper vendors? I know we pay them to do that. But if it's a new relationship, you just don't know how well they're going to do it. And I've got a number that I've got to manage too. So would you then take it back to them and say, I need you to go cheaper, find something cheaper, or would you do the work yourself if that's what it took?
No, the idea for having a property manager is to take the burden off you. So, but there are some things you need to do at the beginning. So we recently did a webinar here where we're talking about questions you should be asking a property manager. So these are some of the questions you'll be asking them. How do they recruit their third-party vendors? Do you have a say in it? So for example, when I am talking to a property manager, I'm asking, do you have the third-party vendors? I mean, do you have the electrician, the plumber, all these specialty roles, do you have them in-house, or you outsource them, or you have vendors you work with? So some of them say, we have vendors that we work with and all that. So part of our agreement is that they must give us at least 3 quotes.
Right.
So it's from the 3 quotes that we will choose. So, and again, there's an agreement that says we can refer someone, but we will not impose it on you. So this is what we do when we have a bid or we need to bid. Sometimes we send our people, they bid. So there's no preferential treatment we choose the best price and best quality. So we have the opportunity to bring in ours, and they have the opportunity to bring in theirs. You can as well allow them do it, but you give them the standard. I need 3 or 5 if I can take a decision, and ensure that they do that and you follow. But all these things will need to be addressed at the beginning. So now that these people are, you are new with them, this is when you need to start addressing it. And it's supposed to be also addressed in the contract agreement. So you don't want to do all these things verbally. It must be in your contract agreement with them that they can bring in vendors, but you have a say as well on who you want, or because you must give an approval on the quotes. Yes, the final approval comes from you, not from them. So for our property manager, we tell them that any deal, any work or job that is higher than $3,000, you must sort for, I mean, higher than $5,000, you must seek for our own approval.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, so you know those type of jobs are expensive, really. So they will definitely come back to you. You see all the quotes and you choose one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have another question, Teresa? No, really, if you do, you're asking great questions. If you do, go for it.
Yeah, no, we're at the beginning of our relationship. I think we've got a really good partner. It's a LITEC certified property manager, well known in the area, and they're very easy to do business with. I just think they're a little slower than I would have liked, kind of getting up to speed. And so we're working things out, but there in some cases, I don't really know what's customary. I just know what I have to have. And so I'm using this opportunity to figure out, okay, am I any different than anybody else? I mean, because it is about the numbers, and I need them to perform and do things timely. And so I was just kind of gauging what's the norm out there. And I guess it could be all over the place, I would imagine. It just depends on how good your vendor is, how good your partner is, and your expectations that you lay out ahead of time.
Right. Teresa, what market are you in?
We're in Charlotte.
Okay, I knew you said
The Carolinas, yeah. So we focus on the Carolinas. Yeah.
You live there and you invest there.
There's something you also need to look at. Timing is very important.
Yeah.
So timing. So if they are slow, it's possible they are not good for the job. You don't have to. You need to just monitor them. I mean, monitor them for a short period before you take a decision. Don't allow them stay for too long. 2 months, 3 months can kill your 1 year projection. So you want to put your eagle eye on them for now. And if they are not meeting it, quickly swap them. Start looking for a replacement right now in case they are not meeting up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say that don't be afraid to change. It's not like a general partnership where you're married to these people. You should always have options.
Yeah. And we went through that process, so we do have options. It just seems like it's a headache because you have to get all the approval with the lender too. So if you got to make a change, you got to go through all of that as well.
That's true.
But no problem. I don't have a problem with it though.
And did you get referrals?
When I was, they came highly recommended.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Some lenders, I know some lenders require that you inform them before you change property management. It depends, but yeah, I've heard
right. That's what we would have to do.
It's not cast on stone. You need to find out what your lender really wants. Not all. We've changed property manager without even informing our lender. And another one, if we decide to do it, we have to inform them. So it just depends on who the lender is and all that. Yep.
All right. I think this is a great place to wrap up. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us. This has been amazing. And we will see you on the next Asset Management Zoom. Catch us on WhatsApp if you have any questions.
Somebody asked a question.
Cheryl, you put your hand up.
Somebody also asked on the chat. I tuned in late, but perhaps sharing a list of KPIs you use or like, or another web page referencing some. Okay, so like I said, yes, you came in late, so I will spare you the story. No single property is the same. So every property has its own different unique KPIs. But really, on all properties, you want to monitor the income, You want to monitor your delinquencies. You want to monitor vacancies. You want to monitor your NOI. So those are standard, regardless of anything. Those are things you want to monitor because you don't want your occupancy to go lower. You don't want to have delinquencies. You don't want to NOI to be lower. So these are standard KPIs. But depending on the deal, then you cannot create the KPIs that are specific to that deal. So for a value add property, it will be different from a property you need to stabilize. When I mean value add in these terms, I'm talking about renovation. So long and short, properties are different KPIs, but there are some key ones that keep repeating itself on all the KPIs, all the deals, I mean.
Cheryl?
Oh, yes. Do you have maybe
a list? We had it on our slide.
Example.
If you have
okay.
Can you share so they can?
Yeah, I was asking you, but we didn't realize you couldn't hear us. I wanted to share
I
this.
couldn't hear you. No, I didn't hear. So if you can, it's the last page. If you can share it for them to just take a picture, that would be nice. So we have a list that we identify that are repetitive to a large extent. So examples of KPIs are occupancy. So for the occupancy, you want to be monitoring the projected 30 days, projected 60 days, and projected 90 days. So like I said, delinquency, you must monitor it regardless of any property. Net operating income, this is this is unanimous to all deals. So this is very important. Loss to lease, yes, this will help you to know if you are catching up with the market. So you want to monitor your loss to lease to see where you are versus where the market is. So you want to know if you're really catching up or you're not. So this one is really for if your property is already stable, you've already caught up with the market. This one might not be something you'll be monitoring, but rent always go up, so you need to be monitoring it as well. So new leases signed. So new leases signed, this is very good for properties that are unstable, like properties that you have occupancy issues. You want to know number of leases that is signed in the last 1 week. Every time you're checking it, average time to track work order. This is for value add interior. If I'm working on capex, like my interior or my exterior curb appeal, you want to know the average time to track your work order. Your conversion rate. So this is from when you're doing your renovation, from my renovation point to when I get in a new tenant that signs a lease, you need to monitor the timing. So you don't want to have you don't want to you don't want to have this conversion very, very large, because one, it's increasing your vacancy, it's increasing your what do you call it? Your income is affecting your income. So you want to monitor your conversion rate when you're doing value add. How long will it take you to renovate and bring in a tenant? So renewal expiration, this is unanimous to every deal. You want to monitor your renewals, your expiration, 30, 60, and 90 days. You want to know the vacancies you have in the next 30 days, the vacancies you have in the next 60 days, the vacancies you have in the next 90 days. So these are things you want to monitor. Then average time to turn units is repetitive, it's the same thing as that. Average units turn cost. You want to monitor the cost of an average unit. So you don't want to spend above the budget. A unit is supposed to cost you 5,000. If you're spending 10,000, then you need to watch it. There's something you're not doing right. Then tenant turnover. How often are tenants leaving? If you have this high, you will know that it's either your property management are not managing the work order is bad. That means they are not responding to the tenant on time, or your rent is very high and they are leaving because you increase your rent too high. So you want to monitor your tenant turnover. Operating expenses to budget. So you want to know what your expenses is versus your budget. I spoke about that. Your capex expenditure. If you have a budget for 100 and you're spending 200, you should watch it. So
okay.
So that's it. So this is a picture of it. So you can take a picture of it and have it. I guess we're good now. I think we've answered all the questions.
Okay.
Yep.
Sharing. Okay. All right. Well, we will catch you on the next asset management Zoom then. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with us. See you next time.
Thank you all.
Bibi, really quick. Last question, Bibi, before we leave. Your property that you mentioned, you did a KPI for. You said it was valued at 7 million. Was that expected based on annual?
No, that was an example. I was giving you a case study that if you have a property at 2 million and you expect to exit and it will be 7 million. So that was an example, not
Oh.
That was an example that was given.
Oh, okay. Not a real scenario. Wow. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So was that like a goal or that was just a projection?
No, it depends on the deal. So depending on what you think your capex exit cap rate will look like and your NOI in the next 5 years. Let's say your whole time is 5 years. It's not something I can give you a yes or no answer to. It just depends on the deal, how much you bought it, what's the plan of the deal. Do you have an opportunity to add value to that deal? And can that value result to 7 million what? So there are many things that are in play here. You have your NOI in play, the value add opportunity, do you have it at all? The cap rate, what's your entering cap rate and what's your exit cap rate? So I know for some of you might not be familiar with some of the terms I'm mentioning, but when we get to exit strategies, because we're going to get there soon, I'll be discussing more about the cap rate, exit cap rate, and all that. So it's from the beginning. All these things are done from your acquisition stage, from the beginning. So that will determine how much. So we have a deal that we bought for 13 million, 13.3. Our exit is supposed to be somewhere around 24 million after 5 years. And that's achievable if our NOI continues going the way we want it to go. So we took a stock of where we are currently on that deal. And we found out that right now, just in year one, based on the NOI, we are about 18 to 19 million. So we've been able to improve the property by 6 million in the space of 1 year. So it just depends on the deal and your business plan and your going in cap rate and your exit cap rate. So many things are in factor here.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, we'll get there. When we get to the exit strategy, then I'll break it down on how and what are the things you should take note of when you're exiting a deal.
Okay.
Yes, sure.
That sounds good. I look forward to it.
Yes, we'll have it soon.
Thank you very much. This was all
So when is our next webinar?
very, very useful.
The next thing.
Yes, and I think the next one is investors relations, and the next one is investors relations.
The next one is on 7/22.
Okay. So we'll be talking about investors relations. Some of you just think it's just about talking to investors. There's a lot that goes in, and Ify will be talking about that extensively on our next webinar. So I look forward to seeing every one of you to know what is really investors relations. It's a big deal, really.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. All right. Have a good night, guys. We're a little bit over, but thank you all for coming.
Thank you all.
Okay, I look forward to the next time we're gonna look at a deal, right?
You're welcome.
Okay, we're gonna see a live deal.
You've got to be a world-class
Thank you.
analyst.
All right,
Woo!
thanks everyone.
The problem is with you. You need to
With a
be
bomb.
in a group. You need to sing
Never time for the sounded to me.
That's
like
relaxing
a rats being
music.
strangled. But you're not good enough. You're not good enough.